welcome to NZ Money Karma, where you can find freedom from the daily grind through budgeting, simple living and adventure. Well, I am sat at my back door, ready to go through my groceries with you. I've very literally just walked in the door. All the tables are taken up in the house, so there's no place to unpack this nicely for you. So I had two options. I thought, shall I just put it away? But then I thought, no, this helps keep me really accountable for my grocery spend. So I definitely want to do it, one for me and two for you. So I'm sitting here, I'm just going to go through it with you right here, right now, in a very unfancy kind of way. So first up, I've got toilet paper. So if you haven't been here before, I should say, I talk about all things related to frugal living, and the purpose of my frugality is not just for the sake of it. There's a couple of reasons. One is driven by the environment. Often the frugal option is the best option for the environment. And my other kind of motivator for frugality is to make sure that we have money available to do the things that really make us happy and excited about life. So if I can save money on the beans or the power, then I want to save the money there so that I have money left over to go and do the fun things. I don't have an infinite budget. We are not, we're average income earners, I would say. I'm 48, my husband's in his 50s, so we're in that kind of, I guess what they would call normally your highest income earning years. But we work in jobs that are not traditionally high income jobs, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's a little bit of background. Now let's get in and look at my grocery spend. My aim for the year is to spend $100 a week. I can tell you for the first quarter I have not achieved that, but I've achieved I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. Someone else watching might know. Please write it in the comments below if you do remember it straight away. It's about 100 and under 120, I think, or 120 max is kind of my average weekly spend. So this is a fortnightly shop that I've done here. And sometimes you might see some things missing from what you might think would be a general fortnightly shop, and that's because I buy a lot of things in bulk. So I have stuff in my stock cupboard, for example, and toilet paper is one of those. I still have another one of these that I've had put away. So I'm going to go through here and I'll tell you what I've spent. So this is Earth Smart toilet paper, and that's $6.65. Just going to put my receipt on my knee, seeing as I don't have a table. I got this idea from the Frugal Queen in France YouTube channel, and I really like it. It's made it so much easier for me to keep a track of, am I getting a good deal or not getting a good deal? So I really recommend that if you're wondering how much you're kind of spending, and are you getting a bargain one week and not the next? The other thing that a viewer suggested, which is also a really good idea, is just to write the date you open something. Like if you have toothpaste or washing powder, write the date that you're opening it, and then you know how long that product lasts you. Because sometimes what we think lasts us a really long time or a really short time is not in fact the case. So there you go, there's the toilet paper. Two milks. Now I'm not sure if these have gone up or not, because I don't actually write the price on milk. And for a long time I wasn't a kind of cow milk buyer. It's only in relation to my kids' requests that I've started buying that. Let's have a look. It's value. Where is it? Value milk. So they were $4.29 each. So $8.58. Now this month in New Zealand also power prices are going up. I read just an article on Stuff, which is an online news platform here in New Zealand, saying that we can expect our power prices to go up $10 every month. How I read it was that it's going to go up $10 this month, and then another $10 next month, and another $10 the following month. If you're from New Zealand, is that what you understood as well, or did you read it just it's going up by $10 and that's it for the year? I would be interested to know because I think that's pretty horrendous. And then it said, and then after that you can expect an increase of $5 every month until 2030 or something like that. So I'm normally I'm pretty careful with pulling things out of the wall. One thing I have been forgetting to do is laptops. When the kids charge their laptops up before they go to bed, I always tell them that I will unplug them when I go to bed. But I keep forgetting, and then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, that's still charging, and it didn't need to be charging. So I'm going to have to really make a much better effort with that. Okay, so I've got some cream cheese. Let's have a look. Meadow Fresh, that's how I have to look for it on my... I should have done this a little bit more planned, I think. So $2.89, it was on sale. There we go. $1.39 coconut cream, that was the same price as it always is. And pineapple chunks. That was $1.55. And I don't have a need for this, but I just try and buy a couple of, well, at least one. I only bought one this week, but tinned fruit, just so I've got it in the cupboard for in the future for baking, or yeah, this makes quite a nice, I make a pineapple loaf with this, and it's quite filling, and it's just nice for winter. It's not something I do a lot of in summer when we've got fresh fruit, and we have got feijoas that are just about to ripen, so we're quite good in the fruit department. Now I have to say thank you to a viewer who told me about Pam's reduced cream. I don't know how I have ever missed this before. It's on the top shelf, and I'm quite short, so maybe it was just that's the reason I missed it. I don't know. But this is way, way cheaper than Nestle. And up until the viewer told me about this, I always just thought there was Nestle. That was the only reduced cream that existed. So thank you. I've bought a couple of these, and they were a much better price. Let's have a look. The other night I harvested a cucumber, and I just had kiwi dip and a cucumber for my dinner. Not exactly super healthy, but it was so nice. I really liked it. Okay, so that was $2.69 each. That's good. So $5.38 all up. So that will be my new normal. Okay, I got 3 of these taco Mexican spice kits. Well, not kits, are they? Just the spicy stuff to put in it, which tastes yum for when you're having tacos or wraps or nachos. And that was $1.09. Not so long ago, that was just 99 cents. So some people might say, well, your grocery budget is not realistic at all, and you know you're going to spend more than that. And to a degree, I kind of agree, you know, like it's not very realistic grocery budget. But I always find if you have the big goal, you'll get closer to it than if you just go, oh, well, I'm just going to spend $200 a week. I know I can definitely do my groceries for that. Then you will always spend $200. It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm definitely about aim for $100. If you go a bit over, well, that's life. But if you keep aiming for the thing you want, you're more likely to get it than if you actually just give up. Cheese. I just got 1 cheese, and I am now cutting that in half and putting kind of half in the fridge for 1 week and half in the fridge for the other week. And do you know what? There's always cheese there. It's crazy. It's a mind thing, isn't it? So what's that? Rolling Meadow cheese. And that was $11.99. Oops, that doesn't go. So $11.99 for the cheese. That's all right. And butter. That's $7.69 for 500 grams of butter. Again, I'm doing the same thing, cutting it in half, but I am saving this for when we have, like for on toast and things like that, where it tastes yummy. For any baking, I'm using the oil that I've got stored away in the pantry, because I had 15, maybe close to 20 litres of oil, so I'm using that all the time now. Okay, that's 1 bag down. I had a bit of a hankering for mushrooms They're not something I normally buy. And I used to just go and forage them, but I've kind of been put off since that lady in Australia, you know, killed her dinner guests with the wrong mushrooms. I'm not sure if, I haven't gone into that story, I'm not sure if it was a purposeful thing or an accident, but it's just made me a bit wary, because I'm no mushroom identifier. I just have always thought that they were fine to forage, so I've always just foraged them from my fields when I had a lifestyle block. And yeah, they've been fine. We've lived to tell the tale. But it's just made me a little bit wary now about going around the streets of a place where I don't know. So I've just got those white button mushrooms, and they were $12 a kilogram. And there's $3 worth of mushrooms there. Okay, so I've got my other reduced cream. So that was $2.69, wasn't it? And I've got chopped tomatoes. We've got no chopped tomatoes. And these will hopefully just be storing, you know, like kind of storing things up for winter. And these are $1.85. And I got 5 of those. That's quite a good price for organic tomatoes in my neck of the woods. That's less than I can get them through the food co-op, my organic food co-op. So I always think that's, you know, that's a good sign, isn't it? So everything I buy from the co-op, all the bulk food is organic. And then I, like you, just do my best at the supermarket. Oops. Because I can't... I mean, I could. It's a choice, isn't it? I could buy every single thing organic. That is possible, but that would leave me nothing for anything else. So I don't want to do that. So this is my compromise. I buy the big bulk things, so the oats, the rice, the flour, the polenta, all the dried fruit, that kind of stuff. I buy that organic, so that makes up the bulk of the meal. And then the little add-ons I'm buying just from the supermarket. Unless I can get them for a good price, then I do. But I don't stress myself out, and I don't beat myself up for not being perfect. So these tomato pastes were $1.35. I can remember as well last year when these were like 79 cents. And some chili beans. We do have dried beans. But the kids, well, not really just the kids, but I do have teenagers and a husband, and people get hungry. So, you know, it wasn't that long ago that our nachos could just be a tin of chili beans, a tin of tomatoes, some vegetables, you know, nacho chips and cheese, and that was enough. Now it's a can of chili beans, you know, a bit of the spice packet. I don't use the whole spice packet. Dried beans, some lentils, some meat, can of tomatoes and vegetables, and that would be now the meal. So it doesn't take long. You know, we've got big tummies to fill up, and it needs to be done with healthy food. So a tin of beans is always good. And those are $2.09 each. So not a great price. They also used to be like $1.89. I feel like I haven't bought them for ages. And that's my coconut cream, an extra one left over, so we know that was $1.39. I got some Wheat Bix. Well, they're not really Wheat Bix, but they're fake Wheat Bix. That's alright, same. And they were $5.49. I still have one left over in the cupboard from a really big bulk shop I did, I think it was in January. But we are coming to the end of those, and I don't want to run out. So that's those. These were on sale. This is a litre of dishwashing liquid. Now with these, I have been going to the bin-in, which is where I normally fill these up. But in the bin-in, they are, must be about $8 and something a litre, nearly $9 a litre. This was $6.99 a litre. So for me, I've just voted with my pocket this week. If I have the money next year, I might look at buying a big one through the food co-op, you know, like a big, kind of like I have my apple cider vinegar in one of those really big 20 litres, and see if that would do us one last little thing in here, onion powder, and this was $1.69. I looked at the bin in for this as well, but they only do it in containers of maybe $4.99, and I don't know if I really want that much, and apparently it kind of clumps quite quickly, onion powder. So I did buy garlic powder there, and the reason I bought garlic powder and onion powder is because of the seitan that I've bought. If you mix onion powder and garlic powder in it, apparently it tastes really, really delicious. So I'm going to give that a go. I am loving seitan, I have to say. Oh, actually there's one other thing in this. $8.05 for 2 batteries. And why do I have 2 batteries? Because when it's daylight savings, they recommend that you change your smoke alarm battery. So that's just prompted me to do that. So I needed batteries, so that's for smoke alarms. I'm not going to write on these because it won't stick, but I've got an entire chicken here, and that's $15.45. I might just put that back in the bag for ease because that has to go out to the freezer. I've got another bit of chicken, that's $9.49, that's $20.99 per kg. And then I've got some sliced pepperoni, $4.63, $24.90 a kg, and that's just obviously for sandwiches. And that's for dinners. Unfortunately, our freezer somehow kind of switched off. The main switch in the garage flicked, and we lost a bit of meat, which was really, really gutting. I think my husband didn't think it had been off for as long as it had, and I got a chicken out while he was working away, and I was going to make a roast, because that lasts 3 days. We do a roast one night, then we use the leftover chicken in a stir fry another night, and then chicken stock off the bones to make a soup. And I got it out and I opened it up, and I've never opened rotten chicken before, and I had always wondered, oh, I wonder if you know if your chicken's gone off. But you know, when I opened it, I was like, it stunk, and I thought, gosh, what am I going to do with this? I couldn't even think to put it in the bin because I thought it would just stink so much. So I put it back in the freezer. Well, first I thought, if I cook it, will that stop it from smelling? I cooked it. No, it didn't stop it from smelling. So then I put it back in the freezer, and then just had to wait till the morning of the green bin collection and pop it out then. So that's the meat. And I had no real luck with good buns this week either, so I've just got nicer bread than what I make. Well, my kids think it's nicer. Some people would go, no, your homemade bread is nicer. But this is just cheesy bread. It's normally $5.49. When you get there early in the morning, you get the reduced stuff. It's $2. And I got just some ciabatta bread rolls, and they're $5 normally, and I got those for $2. That's not enough, obviously, for school lunches for 2 weeks, but that will just have to do because that's what I got. The other things, they were just buns, like 4 buns in a packet, and I'm not paying $2 for 4 buns. Okay, and then in here, I've got a broccoli who wants to escape, so let's get you out. Need to cross off my list as I go though, or I'll forget what I'm doing. So a broccoli, this was $1.79. The garden is still going pretty well. I don't need a lot of fruit and vegetables, but I'm just getting a couple of things that I'm not growing at the moment. And I got a capsicum, and that capsicum is $1.89. And then I did get bananas as well. Never growing those in Ototahi, Christchurch. One day though, they'll be growing plenty of them up in Northland, so I don't feel like it'll be a thing for the rest of our lives that we buy imported bananas. I think in my lifetime there will be a New Zealand supply. And those were $7.80. That's that one done as well. So I'm down to my last barrel. I got some pears. We have normally been able to forage pears where I live, but this year not so much. I have seen barely any at all on the footpath, and none of my neighbours have been giving them away at their gate. So I guess it's maybe just not a good pear season. And those were $5.99. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably only about 8. It's a kg's worth, but probably about 8 little pears. We do have feijoas on the way, and lots of people are giving away feijoas at the moment. So that's the main fruit we have. We're still getting some tomatoes, but I bought plenty because they were semi-decent price. So I've got $3.07, and in there I've got 7 tomatoes. And then, I have to stretch and grab the very last thing. So I've got my eggs here, and they were $10.99 per packet. There's 18 in a packet. And I've got 2 of those. So that's all right. I always check before I, come home to make sure that they're not broken, because I don't want to pay for one single egg that is not, good to go. It's funny, they, I didn't notice that before, but they store them with the little pointy side down rather than up. I normally put them the other way. I should turn them around, shouldn't I? There we go. So that's it. That's my shop. Everything we got. How much did it cost? All up, it was $177.21. So that's giving me just under $23 left to top up if I need something. That's all right. Who knows what I might need, but I will just keep that to the side and make sure it's available for if we run out of something, we've got $23 there to spend. So that's it for me. That's my grocery shop this week. How does that compare to what you guys are getting? Are you feeling the pinch? I feel like every time I go to the supermarket, it is more and more expensive. Even for the Pam's butter. Is it Pam's or Value? Whatever the kind of... Oh no, I've got Pam's butter, sorry. The other butter, the other kind of cheapish butter, that was $9 something today. I'm like, oh my goodness. So yeah, if you are sticking anywhere near your budget, good work. It takes a lot of effort, I recognise that. And good on you for working hard for your family and being really intentional about where your money goes so that you can pay off debt or save money or get a holiday or whatever you're working towards. Keep it up. Use this place as a source of encouragement because we're all doing the same kind of thing. We're all trying just put our heads down, bum up, and get the bargains at the supermarket. So that's it for me. Time to go and put this stuff away in the cupboards, and I'll see you guys next time.